It's time to wake up.
This is Snowman in the Morning on the Arena Sports Network.
Did you not get the memo?
Let's get busy.
Paint the town, take a bow, thank everybody. You're gonna do it again. You are the few, the crowd, you are the antibody, mind, soul, and zen. And the will just stay. And the end is near.
I guess I better wake everybody up. Good morning! Welcome to Snowman in the Morning on this Monday. It is Martin Luther King Day, and we hope that you do your best to honor him and his dream throughout the course of the day with your hard work and everything you're trying to do to achieve the dream and keep the dream that he had alive. Welcome to Snowman in the Morning. We're presented by Fusion Ions Bands. Fusion Ions, live your best. And also by Slugmaster Baseball and Softball Hitting and Training Aids. Slugmaster, turning batters into hitters. Well, I only got one of my picks yesterday. Go ahead and get that out of the way. And congrats to the Seattle Seahawks and the Denver Broncos. It is those two that most have predicted throughout the course of the year that will be participating in Super Bowl 48 in New Jersey in 2 weeks' time. And I'm hoping to have my partner Josh Lopez this morning, but I have a feeling he's still snoring. Well, my producer Josh Lopez is awesome. We had a great time covering the JV championship for the Noble Sports Network this past Friday. The triple header went off very, very well. Unfortunately, Marquette Catholic dropped a road contest to St. Ignatius, but it was still a good day and a busy day on this Saturday nonetheless. Well, we hope you all are enjoying this Monday and how it's going so far. In a couple minutes, you will hear the dulcet tones of one Rusty Silber with Rusty's Morning Rap. Also on tap this morning, a lot of discussion about the NFC and AFC championship tomorrow. Excuse me. On tap, I can tell you on tap tomorrow, I'll have Michael Lyle and Lyle Files Live along with the Skinny on Sports with Brian Skinnell. That will also come tomorrow. This morning, as mentioned, a lot of talk about the NFC and AFC championship games. Peyton Manning lit him up. Colin Kaepernick nearly had a comeback were it not for a great play from one Richard Sherman. And that play sent the Seattle Seahawks to the Super Bowl where they will meet in a couple weeks. I got more fan talk coming up, okay? Because I kind of went off on a rant about how fans should be, and then in the process, I got challenged over the course of the weekend. And how did I get challenged, you ask? Someone came up to me and told me I don't know anything about being a fan because I've been involved in sports media for so long. Well, to be involved in sports media for so long, you have to be a fan first. And I also got a message for a couple of other people that decided to challenge me on a few different aspects. That's later on in the second hour. I'm still getting feedback about the Bulls tanking this season. That's not going to happen. But all of the focus, I can tell you, will be on the AFC and the NFC championships. Once again, congratulations to both Seattle and Denver for pulling the trigger. Manning had a 400-yard day. Russell Wilson and the Seahawks defense came alive in the second half, and they delivered the knockout blows, and they will play in the Super Bowl. Now, I got a ton of other things on the docket as well, including some uniform talk. Yes, I said it. I said uniform talk because there's some crazy reason for people to think that the uniforms that you saw on Christmas Day were, in a word, tolerable. And if you saw those if you saw those uniforms on Christmas Day, I hate to tell you this, they were anything but tolerable. There's the music I'm looking for, and this is the person I'm looking for. It's about that time for Rusty's Morning Wrap, presented by TCF, and here's Rusty. Good morning.
Good morning, Brian. Welcome, everybody, to Martin Luther King Day and Rusty's Morning Wrap-Up, presented by TCF Bank, the official bank of the Arena Sports Network. Blackhawks made it a great weekend against some of the league's best competition. Hawks got past the Anaheim Ducks on Friday night, and in a rematch of last year's Stanley Cup, the Hawks downed the Boston Bruins 3-2 on Patrick Kane's shootout goal on Sunday at United Center. Hawks will next be playing the Red Wings coming up in Detroit on Wednesday night. Nice big stretch here. Super Bowl 48 is all set. Seattle will play Denver in the Meadowlands in a couple of weeks. Broncos are this as an early 3-point favorite. Championship games on Sunday, pretty good.
Very good.
The Broncos passed the New England Patriots 26-16, and in the NFC, Richard Sherman's deflected pass for interception in the final minute. The Seahawks held off the 49ers 23-17 in Seattle. Bulls lost to the Wizards in the nation's capital in a heartbreaker, but that was on Friday night, but rebounded with a 103-78 victory over Philadelphia at the United Center on Saturday. Bulls are back on the court this evening, hosting the LA Lakers at the United Center.
Well, that'll be
College
fun.
basketball. Northwestern comes up with another surprising road victory over Indiana, while Michigan handed a loss to number 3 Wisconsin. Illinois lost again to number 4 Michigan State, and DePaul dropped one to Villanova, all on Saturday. On Sunday, UIC fell to Green Bay 69-64. Notre Dame got past Virginia Tech 70-63. One game of note here today, DePaul hosts Xavier, a 4 o'clock start this afternoon at the Allstate Arena.
Oh, there you go.
Tennis, Aussie Open, Melbourne, Australia. Top seeded Serena Williams, second seeded Maria Sharapova were upset in the 4th round. And also Victoria, let's get that right, Azarenka, and 4th ranked Li Na won their matches. On the men's side, number 1, Rafael Nadal, number 2, Novak Djokovic, and number 3, David Ferrer, all reached the quarterfinals. You know, some of those names you get lost.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yes.
In golf, the Amanda Challenge, La Quinta, California, Patrick Reed wasn't lost. 3 rounds, 9 under par in each of the first 3. He goes 1 under yesterday, wins wire to wire, shot 28 under par for a 1-shot victory. And lastly, Brian, Cubs fan convention came to a close on Sunday. It was a bit on the quieter side this year compared to many years in the past. Nothing really new on the Tanaka front, but we do know the Cubs are in the running with 5 other teams. Also, Tom Ricketts mentioned that it would take 4 years instead of 5 to rehab Wrigley Field. The big question still remains when they get started with their constant battle with those rooftop owners. Oh, by the way, the White Sox will have their Fan Fest coming up this weekend.
Sox Fest again.
For Arena Sports Network. Don't forget to visit TCF Bank for more information.
You have to like you said, the big question is, when are they going to get started? And when are the rooftop owners ever going to concede, if they concede?
Well, there was some news on the front this weekend that something could be conceded, but the battle is the signage that they're going to put in front of these buildings, a Jumbotron. I heard something with Budweiser taking over Miller Lights. There's all these little things that comes up with, money and dollars and cents that you're talking about.
Right. Oh, boy. Well, we'll see how it goes. Thank you, Rusty. Good to talk to you as always. Are you going to cover the DePaul game today?
Actually, I got a quiet day here. I might sneak out and catch the Bulls tonight.
Okay. Thank you, Rusty. Talk to you soon.
All right, bye.
Rusty Silver for Rusty's Morning Wrap. We're due for a break. When we come back, we'll talk all things conference championships. Snowman in the Morning continues on the Arena Sports Network and the arenasportsnetwork.com.
Can I ask you a couple questions?
Okay.
So, what do you do on Sundays?
I usually try to make it to the gym and play video games.
Go to the zoo, and then you have lunch and nap, and there's some diapers.
Between ballet classes and...
I can totally imagine you doing ballet.
Yeah, well, not me, but taking my two girls to ballet.
Did you know TCF Bank is open Sundays? How would that make life easier?
That would mean a lot.
I do like to have the bank open on Sunday, and that's one of the reasons I use TCF.
I completely agree. It's a bummer when you realize at the end of the week that you have something to take care of and the bank's not open.
Yeah. But TCF Bank is open on Sundays.
I can't believe it.
It's amazing.
That is amazing.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
So you might go and talk to a person on Sunday?
Yeah, I like talking to persons.
You know what? I can tell that about you. TCF Bank is open 7 days, including Sundays. Surprised? Come into the home of free checking and open an account today. For locations and more information, call 1-855-OPEN-TCF or go to tcfbank.com. TCF Bank. Surprisingly convenient. Member FDIC.
It began as a promise. Son, we're going on a road trip. That promise has lasted over 30 years. Our dream is to visit every national park in America. It's been thousands of miles, countless bumps along the way, but we'll just keep moving on, pursuing this amazing dream.
Visit DrassichAgency.com or call 219-945-3040 and ask Joel Drassich how you can get all of your insurance under one roof.
We first opened about 10 years ago. We were small, just a few of us, but it was exciting. I always dreamt of having my own business. It was kind of slow at first, but things started picking up. We had big plans. But in our wildest dreams, we never thought we'd have this much work. Yeah, with so many businesses caught off guard by the storm, Reed Waste Management has never been busier.
What will become of your business after a disaster? Nearly 2/3 of businesses aren't prepared for an emergency, and 40% of businesses that experience a disaster never recover. Make an emergency plan now, before it's too late. For a free online tool that helps you develop an emergency plan to keep your business up and running should disaster strike, visit ready.gov/business. Brought to you by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, the American Red Cross, and the Ad Council.
Hey, wake up. Wake up, I said. Snowman in the morning, back at you. 13 beyond the hour. This portion presented by Slugmaster Baseball and Softball Hitting and Training Aids. Slugmaster, turning batters into hitters. All right. Let's talk all things conference championships, shall we? I got one of my picks right, and my producer Josh and my dear friend Josh Lopez beat me again. Dagnabbit. But they were right. Seattle won the NFC title, and they will represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. We'll get to that in just a moment. But what about the performance by one Peyton Manning in the AFC Championship game, where he absolutely lit up the Patriots for 400 yards, his first 400-yard playoff game, and the Broncos got the win. Now, a lot of people are surprised that Manning was able to do so well. And I'll tell you, and I said this Friday. Tom Brady cannot win a championship game on the road. Except for Baltimore last year, he's darn near invincible in Foxborough. Okay? Now, am I knocking Tom Brady? No, I'm just saying pure fact. He cannot win a conference title game on the road. He's now 0-2, and both times he lost to Peyton Manning. Once in Indianapolis, and yesterday in Denver. Kind of get the trend that's going on here? Now, will we see more of Manning versus Brady? Well, yeah, as long as they can throw a football, sure. But the Patriots' defense was not strong coming into this game, even though they put the clamps down on the Indianapolis Colts. But they're going on the road. They're playing at a mile in the air, and they're playing in Peyton Manning's house. How crazy is that? But then again, all the hype was Manning versus Brady, and Manning turned out to be the better quarterback yesterday, even though Tom Brady nearly engineered another miracle. And the biggest play of that game was the missed 2-point conversion. Brady took him down, stuck him in the end zone. You had a feeling. Did you ever get the feeling when you watched the quarterback, home or road, that a lot of people don't like, that he was going to engineer a great comeback or find a way to get it done? Well, he nearly did. And all kudos to Tom Brady for that. All kudos to the Patriots for that. Because it was a 20-3 game. And the Patriots defense locked down and they held the Broncos to 2 field goals. Problem was, it was already in the fourth quarter. And we're talking midway through the fourth quarter, in which Denver used a drive that took 5.5 minutes to get the insurance points. Brady took them down. They stuck it in the end zone, but they missed the 2-point conversion. And they had the right play called. They had an inside handoff. But the Broncos defense stiffened. They stopped the 2-point conversion, and Brady never saw the ball again. That's the kind of championship game that you need to have. Denver's defense stopped the Patriots on 4th down 3 times. And the biggest one came in the fourth quarter. Actually, the biggest one came in the third quarter, when a 4th and 2 turned into a sack, and Denver got the ball back. So now it's Denver that goes on to the Super Bowl, and I know my buddy Fitz has already gotten his Peyton Manning jersey, and I may have to get one myself. Ronald Murchison joining us in our chat facility. Good morning, Ronald. Thanks for joining us. I don't have the usual crowd on a Monday. It's Monday. It's Monday and it's early, and we're still building this show. We are still building this show, and we want y'all to really come check it out. But getting back to the AFC Championship game, when these two, Manning versus Brady, you want to talk Manning-Brady? Let's talk Manning-Brady. Manning versus Brady, when these two met before in Indianapolis in 2007, January 2007, the Patriots raced off to a 21-3 lead. And usually, when the Patriots race off to that kind of lead, scoring both offensive and defensive touchdowns, they cannot be touched, nor can they be stopped. But Manning and the Colts proved that wrong and rallied for a 38-34 victory, which is why I mentioned the point on Friday that Brady has trouble winning in the playoffs on the road, and also he was old for his road championship game before, when he lost to Peyton Manning. That was in Indianapolis. This is in Denver. But you had the feeling that once Denver went up 20-3, the gate was closed. Because the Patriots offense, until like midway through the fourth quarter, could not move the ball. They couldn't do anything with that Denver defense. And I mean, Denver sicked the defense on Tom Brady. I mean, absolutely came after him. You have never, and I've watched Brady his entire career, you've never seen, except for a couple of occasions, and defenses have begun to figure this out about Brady and that offense, that it's a timing offense. Now, let me give the Patriots some props here about all the offensive numbers they have been able to put up in the Tom Brady era. It took an injury for Brady to get on the field in the first place. Remember the injury to Drew Bledsoe that allowed Tom Brady to see the field. And Tom Brady has never left, except for that 1 year he suffered an injury. So I give credit where credit is due and what the Patriots have been able to establish in the Tom Brady era. But this is a point that I will reiterate. Tom Brady is now 0 for 2 in championship games, conference championship games on the road. It's a different animal with the Patriots when they're on the road in the playoffs. And I mean that to the extent of them not coming out and flat out attacking. They don't attack the same way. They're not as fluid on the road as they are at home. Now that there's exception to every statement, okay? And yes, there are exceptions to that statement. But if you look at recent history involving the Patriots offense, when they're on the road in the playoffs, which is a rarity in and of itself, considering what they've been able to put up, considering the numbers they've been able to put up, and considering the records that they had in the Brady era, them playing on the road is a rarity in and of itself. They're not that. Their offense is not that fluent on the road in the postseason. And the last 2 times that Brady has gone up against Manning has proven that. And you can also add this to the equation. The last time the Patriots played the Broncos in the postseason on the road, which was 2005, Denver scored an upset win there. Everybody knows the 100-yard return by Champ Bailey. And it was the same kind of situation. Brady did not come out and flat out attack. He didn't flat out attack like he usually does when he's in Foxborough. Peyton Manning did. He attacked and he never stopped attacking, which is why the Broncos are going to the Super Bowl. And the Broncos have a 2-headed monster at running back now with Noshawn Moreno and Le'Veon Bell. Or Ball. Ball is his name. They have a 2-headed attack now at running back, and that's going to be ultra dangerous. And also, have you noticed the way they've set that offense up now? It's now in a pistol formation and not just a straight shotgun. Most of the time, against San Diego and against New England, they've run out of the pistol. Their offense has come out of the pistol and not out of a shotgun that they usually, and it's produced the same results. When have you known a Patriots defense in the playoffs to surrender a 400-yard game? But when you're dealing with someone special like Peyton Manning, that happens. And it happened yesterday. As many times as the Patriots tried to come up with the big stop that they needed to, they did not and could not. Manning kept the chains moving. He did that to seal the game against San Diego. He also did that to seal the game against the Patriots. Period. So congrats to both teams for making the championship game, the Patriots and the Broncos. And you had to kind of figure that it was going to be those two because everybody was hyping them up all season long. You had to figure it was going to be those two. Even though my pick was the Broncos and the Colts. And Tom Brady stepped in and took care of that. But you had to figure that it was going to be those two. You had to have known that it was going to be those two in the conference title game. Snowman in the Morning presented by Fusion Ions Bands. Fusion Ions, live your best 25 beyond the hours. We talk AFC and NFC championship games. Now to the most interesting game of all. The Seattle Seahawks and the San Francisco 49ers, a 1 versus a 5. in Seattle, in the Legion of Boom. And I'll tell you something about that place called CenturyLink Field. Man, that joint is loud. And I mean, when it's loud, when it frightens the daylights out of Joe Buck to the point where he had to start his introduction over 3 different times, that joint's loud. And I mean, wow. You talk about a home field advantage. That was every bit of a home field advantage. That was the first thing. I would hate to, and I've had friends ask me this question. I've had family ask me this question. Wouldn't you want to be in the middle of that? Hell no. I say that partially jokingly. I like to keep my ears and my voice, which is what I'm not keeping right now, talking about this. But there is something that they have created in Seattle that's turning out to be very special, and it starts with the bond the team has with their fans. Granted, some of the things that they did, like blocking ticket sales to folks from California, you want to create a home field advantage, but you want to be fair as well. Be that as it may, that's the ultimate home field advantage. That is CenturyLink Field. And brother, that place is louder than hell. The only way I'm in the middle of that mess is in the booth with a headset attached to me and watching Steve Rabel and Warren Moon do their thing, the radio voices of the Seattle Seahawks. Now to the game. Frisco jumped out 10-0. Well, let me set the table here. The Seahawks and the 49ers ran neck and neck in the NFC West. The Seahawks eventually won the West on the last week of the season because a lot of people don't realize the NFC West was still up for grabs on the final week of the season. The Seahawks had 2 chances to clinch before the final week, and they didn't. Meanwhile, San Francisco kept winning. In fact, until yesterday, they have won 8 straight games, including the 2 in the playoffs. Given all that, the Seahawks came up with the plays in the second half and got the job done. Ronald Merchant said, messing with me already. He says, no swearing today. All right, I won't swear. I did all my swearing yesterday. But the Seahawks came alive. Give this team credit. They were the number 1 seed in the NFC for a reason. They were the NFC West champions for a reason. And that one of the biggest reasons is their defense. Would I have loved to have seen Seattle go down? You better bleep and believe it. But when a team has that kind of advantage at home, it's going to be tough. How Arizona did it and only held them to 10 points. They made it a physical game, and that's what San Francisco did for 2.5 quarters. But I saw something at the tail end of the first half that kind of gave me a clue that Seattle was on their way back into the game. It was 10-3 at the half. It was 10-3 heading toward the half, excuse me. It was 10-3 heading toward the half. And Joe Buck and Troy Aikman have made a point about beast mode, Marshawn Lynch, and not being able to run the way he's been able to run before. Getting 2 yards, getting 3 yards, getting negative yardage. But on the last drive before the half, and this should have been a clue to those who were paying attention, what did Marshawn Lynch get in terms of running on the last drive, on the last possession Seattle had before the half? +7, +7, +5. Pete Carroll hung with that running game, and it began to pay off. It began to pay off, and one of the biggest points of the payoff came in the second half when Marshawn Lynch broke 2 tackles and finished off a drive with a 40-yard touchdown run, tying the game at 10. Next drive, San Francisco goes down, takes the lead on a bullet from Colin Kaepernick to Anquan Bolden, but the Niners would never see points again. And that's because Seattle stepped up their defense even more. Even more. Now this is coming from a person that's a 49er fan for life. But I know great football when I see it. And the Seahawks defense did just that. I'm not even going to talk about the referees. I'm not going to talk about anybody cheating. I'm just going to simply state the fact that I saw yesterday a team in the Seattle Seahawks needing to make plays, and they made them the entire fourth quarter, including the trick play of all trick plays. Stephen Hauschka didn't know whether or not to run on the field for a field goal attempt, so it forces Seattle to use a timeout. And Pete Carroll says, the heck with it, let's go for it. And what happens? A 40-yard touchdown pass. Now, examining that play even further, the 49ers gave them that free play by jumping off sides. They gave them that free play. As soon as the left end jumped into the neutral zone, the ball was snapped. Russell Wilson knew he had a free play and fired a bullet to Kearse, who made an absolutely spectacular catch. Absolutely spectacular catch. Seattle had the lead and they never would relinquish it. Now, let me talk about the 49ers for a moment. This is a team in San Francisco that a lot of people cannot stand. They have called them cocky. They have called them whatever. They've said the same things about Seattle, including yours truly. A lot of people inside and outside of sports media have called Seattle very cocky. Like I said, including yours truly. Yesterday, both teams backed it up. And even though 49ers came up 6 points short, both teams backed it up. Anybody who doubts Colin Kaepernick, look at that game yesterday. The 2 interceptions and the fumble notwithstanding. Because those 3 turnovers cost the 49ers the game. Yes, that is true. And Cap will learn from this and learn to finish games better. He finished off last year against Atlanta, couldn't do it because Seattle is a different animal on defense than the Atlanta Falcons. I give Seattle their due. They made some great plays yesterday, and the greatest play of all was Richard Sherman batting a ball in the air that turned into the game-clinching interception. Say what you want about Richard Sherman, and Lord knows I'm going to, considering his post-game interviews yesterday with both Fox and with ESPN. But that was, and forgive me, Ron, for saying this, that was one hell of a play. That was an outstanding defensive play. Both teams fought hard yesterday. And no one gave San Francisco a chance after they came out 1-2. They laid an egg in Seattle, losing 29-3. Laid another egg against Indianapolis, losing 27-7. They were not even supposed to be in the conversation. But people need to remember, until yesterday, these were the defending NFC champions, and this is also a very proud team and a very proud franchise. What happens? They rip off 5 in a row, go into the bye week at 6-2, trailing Seattle by a game. Lost to Carolina, lost to New Orleans. Everybody put San Francisco down again. 6-4, 8-2, 2 games behind Seattle. 8-1. Seattle was 8-1 at the time. Forgive me. 3-1 3 games in the loss column. So what did San Francisco do? They ripped through the rest of the year, including clinching the playoffs against Atlanta in Week 16 in the final game ever at Candlestick Park. And then they get a game-winning field goal against Green Bay. They have an absolutely dominant performance in the second half against Carolina. And the first half, they were just as dominant, but Seattle rose to the occasion. Give the Seahawks credit, which I do. 36 beyond the hour on Snowman in the Morning, talking all things conference championships. We're going to pause for a break. And when we come back, well, everybody else has issues with Richard Sherman, and I got a couple of my own. It's one thing to talk trash. It's another to say what he said in both of his interviews in 2 minutes.
Car sharing, dedicated to creating a robust and seamlessly integrated transportation system that's ubiquitous, convenient, and affordable for individuals, and provides the region with expanded economic development opportunities and exemplary environmental performance. Since its inception in 2002, IGO has worked to catalyze a set of transportation innovations that make it feasible and desirable for Chicago residents to get around conveniently and economically without having to own a car, and at the same time reduce vehicle miles traveled and greenhouse gas emissions. A mobility system that is independent of private car ownership requires solutions that use resources efficiently, saves residents money, and decreases the individual and regional ecological footprint. It allows residents to easily choose between multiple modes of transportation to move from point to point quickly, inexpensively, and conveniently. Innovative information technology can integrate both trip planning and service payment across all types of transit, including rail transit, commuter rail, local bus, bus rapid transit, and more. Visit us online at igocars.org and find a location nearest you. iGo Cars, Chicago's only hometown nonprofit car sharing company.
Want to get your rankings in the truest form? Want to get the best college news without all the fluff? Then tune into Swamp's Collegiate Sports Show. Join Kevin the Swamp Rat Horan as he ranks all the collegiate sports, from football to basketball and baseball to cross country, soccer, and so much more. Don't forget to visit www.kevinhoranrankings.com and sign up for his newsletter buzzing across the country. So if you want the best college news and rankings and see how the pros are outsmarted, tune into Swamp's Collegiate Sports Show. The Swamp Rat ranks them right every Wednesday night at 8 on the Arena Sports Network.
IONZ.com.
Fusion Ions are the only bands that are clinically proven to work. Whether you're an athlete looking for better performance or you're simply looking to feel better, from age 8 to 80, Fusion Ions is for you. Don't wait. Go to FusionIONZ.com today to find out how you can receive your very own free Fusion Ions band. Take advantage before they're gone. FusionIons.com.
You gotta keep them separated.
And this morning got off to a flying start. Snowman in the Morning, presented by Fusion Ions Bands. Fusion Ions, live your best 39 beyond the hour. And a shout to a buddy of mine, TJ Johns, involved with the Michigan City Lakers baseball organization. You can check them out at facebook.com/City Lakers and also citylakersbaseball.org. Had a pleasure to talk to him this morning. And you might see more of the City Lakers on the Arena Sports Network. We got something in the works, and we'll keep you abreast of that. Now, I had a rant planned for Richard Sherman, but I'm looking on my Twitter page. You can follow me at BigSnowman40. And my buddy Brian Scannell knocked some sense into me with a very simple statement. Now, if you listened to his rants, to his post-game comments yesterday, he said that Michael Crabtree was a mediocre receiver. He also said, don't try that fade route against me. That's what happens. His tip and his interception. And I was going to go off on that, but a fellow and a buddy of mine, Brian Skinnell, who you will hear tomorrow on the Skinny on Sports, said something that is very, very true. And this is on my Twitter page, and it goes like this, quote, "Stop being butthurt over Richard Sherman. If you want him to stop talking, then beat him. It's that simple." Close quote. Wow. And in essence, he's right. If you don't like him, do something about him. Beat him on a fade route. Get into the end zone against him. And again, I had something totally different planned to rant on about Richard Sherman, but that statement right there, and Mr. Brian Skinnell, I thank you for that statement, and it is so true. If you don't like somebody in competition, then beat him. Period. And it made me think of, right off the top of my head, quite a few examples where they may not have spoken it, but they showed it in their play on the field or on the court or whatever. And the first example I'm going to use is Michael Jordan. I cannot tell you how many people despised Michael Jordan. And that's a nice word in and of itself. And the reason I use that is because Michael Jordan got better each year that he played. Michael Jordan got better with an aspect of his game that wasn't all offense. Richard Sherman has done the same thing. And that incredible tipped ball for the interception just illustrates the kind of defensive back that he is. He is a perennial Pro Bowler, period, if he keeps making plays like that. Absolutely incredible. Another athlete I'll come up with that let his play do the talking instead of the only thing I will say about Richard Sherman is this: your play did the talking for you. No one beat you. All right, that's bottom line. Post-game interviews could have went better, but then again, so could have the decision that LeBron James did, that farce that he put together. And I'll leave it at that. I mentioned Michael Jordan. A lot of people complained about him, saying somebody needs to beat him. And basically no one did. Well, let me take that back. The Detroit Pistons did. They frustrated the daylights out of him. They figured it out. And then Michael figured them out. That's what you're supposed to do in competition. If you're mad that you can't beat somebody, then you figure out how to beat them. And again, my buddy Brian Skinnell with the statement, stop being so butthurt over Richard Sherman. If you don't like him, beat him. It's that simple. So true. If you want him to stop talking, is what he said. Let me correct myself. If you want him to stop talking, then beat him. It's that simple. Very true. Very true. Joe Montana, same thing. John Elway, same way. Current times, and I absolutely hate to use this example, but it is straight on true, LeBron James. Magic Johnson, you want more examples? Barry Bonds, and yes, I'm going there with that one. You want more examples? Nolan Ryan. You want him to stop talking with a 100-mile-an-hour fastball? Do something about it. Hit it. Randy Johnson, same thing. And this is not just in sports. This is in business and this is in life. Okay? Ronald Murchison sent me a question, and I'm trying my best to read it, but I'm not having any success in reading it as of yet. Hopefully he'll send it again. Oh, here it is. On the last play after the interception, the replay showed Crabtree stepping out of bounds. If he had caught the ball after it had it been tipped, would it have counted? It wouldn't have counted anyway, seeing that he stepped on the end line. And you are absolutely right. Once a receiver goes out of bounds, he is out of play, and he cannot come back in and make a reception. But again, it just adds more drama to that great game yesterday, and that tipped ball that Sherman made to allow his teammate to pick it off. Therefore, game, set, match. But again, changing my course of action, the rant that I had in mind about Richard Sherman, considering what he said about Michael Crabtree being a mediocre receiver. Michael Crabtree's a hell of a receiver, and he's going to get better. But the kudos to Sherman. He made a great play. And also, I give more kudos to Brian Scannell for what he said. If you don't like when somebody talks to you or about you, do something about it and beat him at his own game. That's how you handle that. And in many ways, it applies to life as well as sport. In many ways, it applies to life as well as sport. I mean, I could go on giving examples where someone was chirping all the time. And I'll give you a team example, the Detroit Pistons, the bad boy era. They told you what they were going to do, and yet until the Chicago Bulls solved them in 1991, no one did anything about it. No one could do anything about it because the Pistons had established themselves as that kind of team. They were going to play hard-nosed. They were going to play defensive. They were going to beat you up. They were going to be physical. They were going to knock you out of your comfort zone. They were going to bang you all the way around in the post. Rick Mahorn, Bill Lambier, James Edwards on occasion. That's my team example of someone doing a lot of chirping until they got shut up by play on the field, or in this case on the court. The Seattle Seahawks are that team. They love to chirp. They love to talk. But damned if they didn't back it all up. That defense in the second half came alive. And I'm giving all kinds of credit where it is due. That defense came alive and made some great plays. They made some great plays defensively. And I've already said that Kaepernick contributed to his own cause by turning the ball over 3 times in the fourth quarter. Prior to that, the 49ers only had 1 turnover against Seattle in the last 24 possessions. But getting back to Richard Sherman and his post-game rants, could he have handled them better? Sure. Absolutely sure. But at the same time, when your team just won the NFC title, you're going to chirp a little bit, especially if it's against your rival. Now, would my view change about this? Probably, because I'm going to pay attention to a lot of the stuff that he's going to say throughout Super Bowl week in New Jersey. Yeah, I said it right, New Jersey. Snowman in the Morning, presented by Fusion Ions Bands. Fusion Ions, live your best. On this day, January 20th, in 1968, the Houston Cougars ended UCLA's 47-game winning streak with a 71-69 victory at the Astrodome before 52,693 fans. The game also set an NCAA attendance record, which is going to be broken this April. I guarantee it, playing at Cowboy Stadium. In 1985, the most watched Super Bowl game in history was seen by an estimated 115.9 million people. The 49ers beat the Miami Dolphins 38-16, and Super Bowl 19 marked the first time that TV commercials sold for, ready for this, $1 million a minute. Joe Montana was awarded his second MVP award. 10 years later, in 1995, the NHL season was opened with the teams playing a 48-game schedule instead of the usual 84. The season had been shortened due to a player's strike. 4 years later, in 1999, ESPN announced the creation of the Great Outdoor Games to be held in Lake Placid, New York, in 2000. Also in 1999, the NBA lockout officially ended after 204 days. In 2002, Joe Newendike of the Dallas Stars played his 1,000th career NHL game. And finally, in 2003, Patrick Roy of the Colorado Avalanche became the first NHL goalie to play in 1,000 games. And that's on this day in sports history. And it's presented in part by Gigahertz, the official computer solutions company of the Arena Sports Network. Pause for a break. When we come back, I'll have a question of the day. And I think I'm going to end it after an hour. Had a bunch of other things planned, but just in the last few minutes, some things have come up administration-wise, and I got to handle some business. But I will have the question of the day when we... Did I have the right screen? Yes. I'll have the question of the day when we come back in 2 minutes.
How do you turn a batter into a hitter? With Slugmaster Hitting Stations. Slugmaster Hitting Stations are the most effective and durable baseball and softball batting practice devices available. Versatile, compact, and easy to use, they are excellent tools for ball player at any skill level. Attached to any pole or post for an instant hitting station. Use it at the ballpark, at home, or anywhere you want to get some hits in. Work the strike zone, top to bottom, in and out. The most complete workout year-round, indoors or outdoors, teams or individuals. Slugmaster equipment is constructed from high-grade steel. The rugged design means years and years of use. Slugmaster equipment is used by youth, high school, college, and professional ball players. For more information or to place your order, call 708-705-7354 or visit slugmasters.com. Slugmaster baseball and softball hitting aids, turning batters into hitters.
Some statistics are surprising, some are unbelievable, and some are simply unacceptable. Right now, nearly 30% of U.S. students aren't finishing high school. Nearly 30%, and that's the average. In many places, it's even higher than that. And fixing it is a responsibility that we all share. This is President Obama, and I urge everyone, not just parents, but friends and neighbors and family members, to take responsibility for encouraging the high school students in your communities, to support them, challenge them, push them a little, and do whatever it takes to help them make it through. Because this is one statistic we simply can't afford to ignore.
You can do your part by going to boostup.org and sending an email, a text message, or even a wake-up call to a student at risk of dropping out. Go to boostup.org and provide the boost that's needed to make it to graduation. A message from the U.S. Army and the Ad Council.
Gigahertz, providing customers with excellent service since 2008. Computer problem? Leave it to the staff at Gigahertz, priding themselves with an unparalleled work ethic and continuing to offer customers the lowest prices around. Gigahertz services include PC repair, networking, PC setup, custom PC builds, pickup and delivery, in addition to in-home and in-office service. Get small to large business solutions, service contracts, and much more. Computer problems? Gigahertz. And that's where we come in. Gigahertz for your computer repair and solution needs. In-home, in-store, wherever it's convenient for you. Think your PC's infected? Gigahertz offers free virus diagnostics, with most virus removals done in 48 hours or less. Plus, they'll optimize your PC. Take that, Best Buy. Give Gigahertz a call. 219-218-9323. That's 219-218-9323. Or log on to gigahertzpc.net. Gigahertz. And that's where we come in.
Planning an upcoming event? The completely refurbished Diamond Club at U.S. Steel Yard is available year-round for birthday parties, wedding receptions, business meetings, conferences, and a wide variety of other activities. With a full-service bar and the ability to accommodate groups of up to 300 people, the Diamond Club is the perfect place to host your next event. Fully customizable food options through Aramark are also available. Call the Railcats at 219-882-2255 and have the Railcats fashion an event your friends, family, clients, or colleagues will never forget. The Gary South Shore Railcats, redefining fun.
I haven't used this song yet. Snowman in the morning back at you, 56 beyond the hour. We got a little bit of time. And my buddy Josh Lopez has checked in. Trying to find out. I'm just asking him if he's okay. Listen, Josh Lopez is a rising star in broadcasting. Okay? He's been on with me. He's going to be on with me this Thursday when we do the Noble Network semifinals live from Exelon Gym. He was with me. We couldn't do a play-by-play call. Oh. Been listening, just figured we weren't going to be able to connect. Well, Josh, since you're listening, I love you, bro. We're going to keep trying until we get this right. I reloaded Skype on my computer because that's how he and I connected before. But I have another idea. And my producer, Josh Lopez, is listening, so I'm going to go ahead and put this out there. And Josh, you gave me this idea. We're gonna do a test later on today, and we're gonna try something through. Oh man, you are so right, Josh. The 49ers needed bang on the drum all day. Yeah, that's true. But you know what, Josh? Let's try an experiment later tonight if you're available. Let's do it through Google Hangouts. You gave me that suggestion, and I know you sent me an invite, but I need you to send it to another email address. We'll talk about that off the air. 2 minutes before the second hour, and I said this is going to be a short show because of a lot of administrative stuff that have just come up here in the past 5-10 minutes. But it's time now for our Gigahertz question of the day, and I know Josh is going to enjoy this one, and a lot of people are going to enjoy this one. The question of the day is this. If you were a hockey player, how would you celebrate a goal? I'm waiting to see the answers on this one. If you were a hockey player and you scored a goal, a big goal, how would you celebrate it? Would you do a fist pump, a couple of fist pumps? Would you fly around the ice? Would you do what Patrick Kane did when he beat the Kings? Drop to your knees, pump a fist a couple of times, and then the dog pile ensues at center ice? How would you celebrate? Josh Lopez, I love you, brother. He gave me the best answer so far, and I know this is going to carry on beyond the show. Doing the Charleston dance or the Carlton dance. Oh, have mercy. I don't know how I would celebrate a goal. I don't know. I guess I would just I would just do the normal fist pumping and well, you can't spike a stick. It would break and it gets in people's eyes. You get in trouble by the referees, you get thrown out. I can't spike a stick. Another great suggestion from Josh Lopez, the Billie Jean moonwalk. Oh, dear Lord. I don't get along with skates as it is. I don't get along with ice as it is. And this is why I don't get along with hockey ice, even though I love covering the sport of hockey. In 2002, I worked at a place called Johnny's Ice House. It's a hockey rink where semi-pro players and youth players, have their games. I was doing the Thanksgiving tournament in 2002, and I miss that place. I do. I miss that place. I was doing the Thanksgiving tournament in 2002, and I had been there since like 5:30 in the morning, getting set up, setting up the equipment, testing the music, all kinds of stuff. I had gone to my I was going to go to my 7th game of the day, and it was hitting 7 o'clock. It was hitting 7 o'clock in the evening, and the way Johnny's Ice House, the original, was set up, it's on West Madison Street, just right off of downtown Chicago. The way it's set up, I could not walk around and get to my booth. I had to walk across the ice. All day, either some of the kids or the officials would help me get across because I don't like walking across ice, period. My feet fail me when it comes to ice. And my doctor once upon a time told me, you have great balance for a big man, and I'm still told that. I'm still told that to this day. But me and ice don't get along, and this kind of sealed it. When I was walking across to get back to the booth, my feet came out from under me, and blammo, out I went. Knocked myself out. I was knocked out, had a concussion, didn't realize part of my head was open, and I was bleeding. All I know was when my feet came out from under me, and of course ice doesn't give, especially hockey ice. Pow! I was out. I was out for the count. And from what people have told me that have relayed the aftermath to me, I was on the ice for a good 30 minutes. I'm sorry. Ronald Murchison with a great one. I would drop my stick and do the DX crotch chop. You know what, Ronald? That would be me, you, and Josh. If we all combined and assisted on the goal, no matter who scored it, we should just skate right to center ice and give a couple of DX chops. That's great. Hey, the question of the day is on our Facebook page, facebook.com/snowmaninthemorning, and you can tweet us at Snow Morning Show. Question of the day presented by Gigahertz. Once again, if you were a hockey player and you scored a goal, how would you celebrate it? And let me thank a buddy of mine, Rob Ryan, who's out east, for giving me that question. Whew. Great answers. Great answers all the way around. But to finish my story, from what people told me after my accident, when my feet came out from under me and down I went, I was on the ice for like a good 40 minutes. And I do not remember how in the hell I got to Cook County Hospital. I don't know how I wound up in the trauma ward in Cook County Hospital. This was 2002. And I had the most massive headache ever. I mean, I've dealt with migraines just in the past 2 years. And Liz has helped me deal with the migraines, and I thank you for that, honey. I've had horrible migraines, but it could not top the headache that I had. You ever have one of those headaches that just would not go away? That was what I had that night in 02, the Saturday after Thanksgiving in 02, in the trauma ward. And I'm wondering who all these strange people are around me because I was half dazed. And they gave me something for the pain. Do I remember what it was? No. Do I want to know what it was? No. All I know is it began to work, but it began to work a little bit later. Josh is giving me some great answers. He'd do a Booker T spin-a-rooney if he celebrated a goal. I don't know if I'd be able to execute the Charleston or the Carlton dance. Because like I said, I don't get along with ice as it is. But, or the moonwalk for that matter, I tried that and I failed miserably trying to do it in high tops. And I said I'd never do it again. I would, like I said, I would probably do like the fist pump. Or, you know what, Josh? You're going to love this one. Y'all are going to love this one. You know what? I would, I saw Devin Hester do this after a couple of punt returns. The Cupid Shuffle. Are you serious, Josh? No Cupid Shuffle for old Snowman. Not a chance. You know, I saw Devin Hester do this, celebrating a couple touchdowns. I would attempt to do the Superman. My luck, I'll try it and I'll fall flat on my tummy. Even though I have all that padding around me. Splat! But that's... Oh, Lordy. That's our question of the day. And it's presented by Gigahertz, the official computer solutions company of the Arena Sports Network. Visit gigahertzpc.net for more information. Now, I thought I'd be getting off early, but I got a couple more things on the docket before I get out of here, as we have now crossed into this second hour, and it's 8 beyond the hour. And the NBA made a move with their uniforms, and it went over like a, well, I'll explain in 2 minutes.
You do a lot of thinking on a bike about your life, family, your dreams. One of my dreams came to me on a bike, to open up my own shop. So what happens when you complete a dream? Well, you just start thinking of the next.
Visit DrassichAgency.com or call 219-945-3040 and ask Joel Drassich how you can get all of your insurance under one roof.
An ordinary sunny day, an ordinary family's living room filled with an ordinary bunch of kids, and they were doing nothing. They were couch slouching, they were rug imitating, and Lazy Minute after Lazy Minute was passing them by, when suddenly...
Huh? Hey guys, that's a personal foul. Inactive activity on a sunny day.
Coming to the rescue was NFL running back Reggie Bush.
Players don't get lazy penalties. Let's play.
Those kids, they listened to Reggie. They got up and play they did. There was fun and running. There were smiles and jumping. And laziness was crushed.
Hey kids, don't get a lazy penalty.
Kids, listen to Reggie and avoid lazy penalties. Be a player. Get up and play for an hour a day. Go online to check out smallstep.gov for fun playtime ideas.
So you can be a player too.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Be a player. Hey, you guys, Could I ask you a couple questions?
Okay.
Saving money, what's it like for you?
Well, I'm an artist, so it happens sporadically.
But it does happen?
It does happen, and when it happens, it feels really, really good.
With easier savings at TCF Bank, what would you save for?
Oh, clothes and shoes.
Housing repairs.
To buy a new car. I'm saving for grad school.
And then I'm hoping to just save up, just to have savings, period.
What would make it easier to save money?
Having like a sugar mama.
Which isn't a bad plan, but if you needed a little banking plan or something, what would make it easier?
Something with a...
Automatic transfer?
Something with an automatic transfer, probably.
So you wouldn't even notice the money?
Automatically transferred.
Automagical.
Automagical, oh my gosh.
How much could you save if saving were actually easy? Open an account at the home of free checking today and find out. For locations and more information, call 1-855-OPEN-TCF or go to tcfbank.com. TCF Bank. Surprisingly simple. Member FDIC.
Okay, so we're into the second hour after all. A little Paradise City to start your morning. So, man, in the morning, 12 beyond the hour. I nearly messed that up. Oh, boy. What did Josh send me now? Josh is still going on the how would you celebrate a goal, a hockey goal. He suggests that I do the beat it dance. I just learned 3 new words, Josh. No thank you. I don't dance. I attempted to once upon a time. I was 16 years old, and after that embarrassment, I said never again. Oh, my gracious. But you know what? This is why Josh is my producer, and this is why I love this brother to death. He feeds me stuff like this. He feeds me things like this. We're talking via Skype right now. We're going to try to connect tomorrow via Google Hangout so I can have him on the show with me. He said that's how we felt about roller skating. Been there, done that, bro. Been there, done that. In fact, I'll tell this story. When I was in 8th grade, we had a skating trip. A roller skating trip. I knew I wasn't going to get in a pair of skates. Someone kept convincing me, try it anyway. Try it anyway. One of my dear friends, Andre Porter, was there. They tried to get me to skate. I took a tumble. He took a tumble. And unbeknownst to me, he suffered a broken arm. Oops. He forgave me for that day. I mean, I am not good when it comes to wheels on my feet. And the fact that I wear a size 15 doesn't help either. Now give me a pair of cleats, I'm fine. I can navigate those. But when it comes to wheels on my feet, or skates, ice skates, or roller skates, or roller blades, as people suggested that I try, when it comes to those being on my feet, I have a horrible sense of balance, period. And people will say, well, you don't know if you don't try. Yeah, I know. I've tried. And my response is the following.
Bazinga!
There. That's my response with me being on skates of any kind. And oh, by the way,
Did you not get the memo?
I don't belong on them, period. And that's that. Now with that done, You know, Josh is telling me what sounds to play, and I got a couple of good ones for him. But okay, I'm gonna give you Josh. I'm gonna give you this one, and I know you're gonna love it. Speaking as a 49ers fan, I gave all the credit to the Seahawks for the way they played. My initial reaction was the following after the game ended yesterday.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
And Josh's reaction was... There, I gave you those. Now, let's talk a little NBA uniform talk, shall we? Can you tell I didn't have a script this morning? Can you tell? Y'all saw what happened on Christmas Day with those, what do you call those? Uniforms? Okay, those uniforms. If you want to call them that. No. You don't. I mean, the shoes that Kobe had on Christmas Day 2 years ago were awful. He calls them those Grinch shoes. Now the NBA wants to market toward the younger squad, according to a lot of people that pay attention. According to a lot of people that research this, and I'm going to be one of them pretty soon. The NBA marketing toward the young people want to. They did actually premiere uniforms with chrome logos and sleeves, shirt sleeves, not long sleeves, not long sleeves, just sleeves. Okay. I haven't seen. Well, the Warriors have done it a couple of times, but see, the Warriors are a team that can get away with that. Okay. The Warriors are a team that can get away with that because they've been experimenting with that for a while. And in fact, that was their uniform. Couple of women's basketball teams I know did that. Louisiana Tech being one. I want to say Tennessee being another. They had sleeve jerseys. Now, y'all know this is going to require me to do a lot of history research on this, but did you like those uniforms? I talked about this before. Did you like those uniforms? Me neither. Thank you, Josh. Creamsicle jerseys. Now the NBA has tried something else. And they thought it was excellent that they would put nicknames on the back of the jerseys instead of the fellow's last name. Nicknames. The players' nicknames. I thought you put the nickname on the front of the jersey of the team. And I saw a couple of previews of this online via chriscreamer.com and sportslogos.com. Showed a picture. It was what game was that? It was the Miami Heat and the Brooklyn Nets, and I still can't say Brooklyn Nets consistently. It's the Miami Heat and the Brooklyn Nets that decided to do this farce of an experiment. And I talked with my buddy Chris Bass on his show, Baseline with Chris Bass. You can find that on urbanbroadcastmedia.com, 5 to 7 Eastern time. And speaking of shows, Joshua Lopez has the Blitz, the afternoon Blitz with Josh Lopez this afternoon. But I took a look at those and thought 3 words.
Down.
And then my next question was,
Get off my plane.
No. That wasn't my next statement. My next question was, as I hit the correct button.
Hello?
Why is the NBA suddenly, I mean, I know it's a multi-billion dollar business. I know that it's a business now. The love of the game is absolutely gone. Me and Mike Lyle have talked about that many times over. And speaking of Mike Lyle, you'll hear him tomorrow morning. When are we going to wise up and look at the NBA and the way it's being marketed, which is toward the young folks, and get the love of the game back so we can finally say,
Ding dong, the witch is dead!
And have games that people actually care about? You're concentrating on a uniform, for God's sakes. I mean, I know that's how you sell. I hated Ron Murchison. I hated the bright red in those jerseys on Christmas Day. Okay, my question is, as far as putting nicknames on the back of the jerseys, who was smoking or drinking when they came up with that brilliant idea? Who thought this up? Who put it in their right mind that we're going to put nicknames on the back of the jerseys? The XFL did it for one season. One. Okay? Are they going to do it again? I don't know. Would I suggest that the NBA do it again? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I can't. Not with that. Not with the way they turned out and some of the names that were used. But of course, David Stern sitting in his office in New York, saying, "Excellent," and the rest of us are going, "Go!" Looking at those jerseys. You know what? I hope they suffer this.
Fatality.
And you have to wonder why so many people are walking away from watching the NBA. Because according to their numbers, viewership has spiked. But according to me, and if they ever get it right and figure out what they need to do, then maybe people will start watching again. And Josh, this is for you.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
When you saw those uniforms on yes, he hate me. Thank you, Ronald Murchison. XFL only lasted one season, and Ron backs it up with a great question. Is Stern trying to turn the NBA into the XFL? I don't know. I'm just going to go ahead and say this as a fan. I'm glad he is stepping down after 30 years. How will he be remembered? That's a question for a later show. But when you saw those uniforms on Christmas Day, you had to have been thinking,
"Ah, crap!"
And I just want to take those uniforms and give them a couple of good and get rid of them. All right? I'm glad they only played those on Christmas Day. Because if you look at the uniforms, you only think, now they put nicknames on the back of the jerseys. They put nicknames on the back of the jerseys, even though it was just for that one game. But a question that was crossing everybody's mind was the following.
What the hell is that?
The world will never know. They'll never know. Snowman in the Morning, presented by Fusion Ions Bands, as I go a little sound crazy here. And also by Slugmaster, baseball and softball hitting and training aids. Slugmaster, turning batters into hitters. And now that I have Josh on Skype with me, Josh and I did the JV Girls Championship for the Noble Network this past Friday night, and the house was rocking. The house was absolutely rocking. I mean, these fans get in and it just crystallizes what I talked about before in terms of being a fan. You be there with your team, win or lose, or draw in some cases. They were absolutely rocking. And when I got set up and Josh looked at me and he saw the sound bites were loaded and ready, he was just waiting for me to bust a few of them out. He was just waiting to see what I would do. And I had a few of them in mind, because when someone made a free throw, I would give them a little of this, and I would give them a little bit of this, and I'd give them a couple of these. And the fans would look down and see where the sounds were coming from. And then they saw my computer, and then they'd look back at me and wonder what would be next. And on a 3-point play, I think Josh was waiting for one sound for me to do. On a 3-point play, the girl made the free throw. Instead of, or, I gave him this.
That's spicy meatball.
It's from The Mask, for those of you who are unfamiliar with that sound. But it's going to continue to rock because the playoffs continue with the quarterfinals. They're going to be in 2 spots this Tuesday. They'll be at Exelon Gym, and they'll also be at Jacoby Dickens Center at Chicago State University. And Josh will sit in for me at Exxon on Tuesday, which means I need to load some sounds for him. I'll do that later today. Josh and I will hook back up for the semifinals. That will be Thursday at Exelon Gym. The championship game is Saturday morning. They made a couple of changes to the schedule. Now, we originally said Wednesday and Friday, as you look at our calendar on the arenasportsnetwork.com. But the changes have been made. Melissa Avalos alerted us of the changes. The semifinals, the quarterfinals, Tuesday in 2 spots. Thursday are the semifinals, 5 and 6:30 at Exelon Gym. Please come on out and support these kids. Please come on out and support these kids. And if you can't make it, you can listen to our broadcast online. We tested everything there. It does work. They do have a great connection. So Josh and I are going to strap on the headsets and get everything going. Saturday morning is the girls' varsity championship. And I did the varsity championship last year as the PA announcer. And they enjoyed it. They absolutely enjoyed it. This is something we had planned to do earlier in the year, but some logistics kept getting in the way that we didn't realize. And we got them situated now. We'll have both the girls and the boys playoffs for you. And, oh, by the way, Josh.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
Yes, playoffs.
Ah, crap!
No, not that.
Really?
Not that either.
Oh, my God! They killed Kenny! You bastard!
Oops, wrong button. Like I said, can you tell I don't have a script this morning? But we're having fun anyway. Snowman in the Morning, presented by Slugmaster, baseball and softball hitting and training aids. Slugmaster, turning batters into hitters. A pause for a break, and I have a departing message for someone that decided to say something bad about me, my family, and my organization. And Josh, if you thought you were laughing before, you're really going to be laughing when I get finished with this SOB this morning in 2 minutes.
Hey, I'm Charles Tillman, cornerback for your Chicago Bears. I've tackled a lot in my life, but nothing more difficult than waiting for my daughter to receive a life-saving heart transplant. Thanks to the selfless gift of another human being, my wife and I get to hold our daughter each and every day. You too can help give someone a second chance at life. As a registered organ donor, you can help save the lives of more than 25 people. Be a team player. Register to be an organ and tissue donor at donatelifeillinois.org.
It began as a promise. Son, we're going on a road trip. That promise has lasted over 30 years. Our dream is to visit every national park in America. It's been thousands of miles, countless bumps along the way, but we'll just keep moving on, pursuing this amazing dream.
Visit DrassichAgency.com or call 219-945-3040 and ask Joel Drassich how you can get all of your insurance under one roof.
Do you suffer from severe chronic pain caused by a back or neck injury, migraine headaches, or a work injury? Take heart. Midwest Interventional Spine Specialist is the region's leading provider of minimally invasive, non-surgical pain treatments. For more than a decade, physicians and patients in Munster, Dyer, East Chicago, Hammond, Hobart, Merrillville, St. John, and Valparaiso have turned to Miss First for effective relief of even the most severe and painful conditions. Our board-certified, fellowship-trained experts use a wide range of minimally invasive techniques to dramatically relieve your pain. In fact, for more than a decade, Miss Specialists have been first to deliver proven effective treatment innovations for spinal pain and other conditions to patients throughout northwestern Indiana. For more information, pay us a visit at 8840 Calumet Avenue, Suite 103 in Munster, or give us a call at 219-836-7246. The Midwest Interventional Spine Specialist, First Improvement Pain Solutions, first in patient care. Oh, yeah. Booty gave me some advice and I didn't take it. What is your warm-up song? This is one of mine. Of course, this is Van Halen I got banging in the background. I already know Josh's warm-up song. It's Bang on the Drum All Day by Todd Rundgren because it's mine. It's one of mine. Oh, Lordy. Oh, man. We're just having a lot of fun here. Snowman in the Morning, presented in part by Gigahertz, the official computer solutions company of the Arena Sports Network. Gigahertz. Visit gigahertzpc.net or call 219-218-9323. Gigahertz, and that's where we come in. 33 beyond the second hour. I was going to be done at 8 o'clock, but I got on such a roll, and thank you, Josh Lopez. I love you much. Ron Murchison, thank you. Rob Ryan, thank you. And thanks to all the fans that tune in to the show on a daily basis. My buddy Davud of Binary Web Consulting gave me a suggestion. I didn't take it. He's going to be so mad at me, but we're going to be laughing about it at the same time. Oh my gosh. Josh, I love you for this. This is what my producer just typed to me on Skype. If the Cubs listened to this kind of music, they would win the World Series. Woo! I wonder if that's going to elicit a response from my buddy Ron Murchison. I don't know. Like I said, can you tell we didn't have a script this morning? And actually, that turned out to be a benefit, especially when I got folks like Josh and Ron. And I'm surprised Fitz didn't check in with me this morning. He's probably doing some running around. Rob Ryan checked in as well. My buddy Bob Lazari. I'll have. Oh man, I got Lazari on Sports coming this week. Yeah, I got Lazari on Sports coming this week. We're busy getting all the pieces together because what's going to happen in happen? Oh my gosh, did y'all catch that? What's going to happen in probably, which is kind of the two words I was mixing together. What's going to happen probably, I want to say May. May is what we're looking for. Is we're going to expand again. And we're going to expand to 3 hours. Now, are we going to keep the same start time? Yeah, we are. But we got some things in the works for Snowman in the Morning. And we also, and Josh is going to love me for this because he's going to do it, we have some plans in the works for a wrestling show. My producer Josh gave me the idea, and I'm going to help him develop it, and we're going to put this bad boy together, and we're probably going to do it. I think we're going to launch like right after WrestleMania. I know I hate to wait until after that big event, but want to be sure we get everything right. Anyway, 35 beyond the hour, coming down the stretch here on Snowman in the Morning. We talked about NFC and AFC championships, and once again, congratulations to the Seattle Seahawks and the Denver Broncos. As I adjust my chair here, they will play in the Super Bowl, and we had fun with a question of the day: what would you do to celebrate scoring a goal in hockey? And I think I just surprised Josh, and he's jumping through the roof right now. And again, this is one of the hardest working young men in sports media. And I mean, he's the guy that posts all the recaps that you see on the Arena Sports Network Facebook page. And a gentleman, and I use this term loosely, made the suggestion that I stop posting those. Wrong answer. People love to give you suggestions for them on how they would handle things. I take a few of them, I look at a few more, keep them in reserve, and the other few I just give them a good and be done with it. In case you didn't hear that. But be that as it may, there are some, and I know I spend absolutely too much time on this. I know I do. And I'm going to stop doing it right now. Because people are going to talk. This is what I've realized. People are going to talk, and they're going to attempt to make me say,
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
But at the same time, I want them to realize,
oh my God, I almost didn't do it. I thought, is this in bad taste? But you know what? I went for it, and I am so glad I did. Oh, worth it. Totally worth it.
This was and has been and continues to be worth it. Every single time I'm in front of this microphone each morning, bringing it for the fans. Every time Josh Lopez is side by side with me and we're rocking the Exelon Gym. Every time we're rocking, where is that? Lane Stadium. Every single time it is worth it, and it continues to get better. What we do here at the Arena Sports Network is getting better each trip. And a lot of people don't realize how much better it is getting. So what do? They tend to do the opposite and hate on it. Well, go right ahead, okay? Go right ahead. Because while I get to give you a few of these...
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
And make you say...
Ah, crap!
We're going to keep building. We are going to absolutely keep building. And that's all I have. Thanks for listening, everybody.
That's it, man. Game over, man. Game over.
Oh, man. Wasn't that great, kid?
Michael Lyle joins me tomorrow. Brian Scannell joins me Wednesday talking more about the conference championships. But I have a little surprise in store. It's a big surprise when Mike Lyle joins me tomorrow on Lyle Files Live. That'll start the second hour. Thanks for listening, everybody. And we hope that you have a great day. Happy MLK Day. Make your next move your best move. God bless. Talk to you tomorrow. So long, everybody. Peace.